Hey, welcome back. I'm JasonWHardee with EliteBBQSmokers. Today we're here at the Boss Hog Cook-Off here in Waynesboro, Georgia, bird dog capital of the world here, and we're having a cook-off, and this is a GBC contest. And so kind of got some people here that's involved with GBC, some people that's done very well in it, kind of points and stuff, got name called a few times. And we kind of want to do a kind of interview, let everybody introduce themselves, and go from there.
Yeah, I'm Frank Nagel with Dear BBQ. We've been cooking since about 2013. Actually, our first KCBS contest was Boss Hog Cook-Off, and we actually got our first GC at the Boss Hog Cook-Off, so this place is special to us. So we've been cooking GBC contests ever since the beginning, and enjoy the crowd and the camaraderie and the competition. So
awesome. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Wetherall. My team is Jane BBQ. Been competing since about 2018-19. And recurring theme, my first contest, my first win was Boss Hog here in Waynesboro. Enjoy the competition, it's fun, get to hang out with all these awesome people, and looking forward to another weekend.
Hey everybody, Jody Flanagan with Recteq Smokers, Recteq Pellet Grills. I've been competing since about 2012, and again, my first GBC and KCBS was the Boss Hog back in 2012. So love coming out here, love the GBC events, and of course love all the cooks because of the competition. You know, there's a higher level than the Florida or South Carolina or Alabama. Georgia's just upper echelon for sure.
Jody, talk about how you got into barbecue.
So so I've been cooking professionally, not like competitively, but professionally for about 20 years. I was in the F&B business before I started working for Recteq. So, I've done every, job in the restaurant there is, from dishwasher to lead cook. So, I've done it all, and, competing and getting into competition barbecue was just fun. I was always the guy in college that cooked at tailgates. Everybody else was always, just drinking and drinking, and my crew was able to drink, eat, and keep on going the whole night through. So that's kind of where it all started, was at Georgia Southern, just cooking for those football games and baseball games, and hell, even the bowling and track we would even tailgate for. But that's where it all started, back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, my turn? Okay. Really, I'm just probably your typical backyard cook. Just kind of fell in love with just cooking, the whole process, and smoking and barbecuing. And I don't know, kind of got, I don't want to say bored, but just kind of like I wanted to test my skills. And I always see competitions and all that. So I figured, why not? Let's just, let's go for it. Let's try it. And we've been fortunate to have a lot of early success. And now it's an addiction. It's a fun hobby, and it's a good time. And but yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
all right, so our story is a little different. The Pit Masters TV show was hot and heavy on TV, and then myself and a couple of college buddies, there was a local barbecue contest in Savannah that we signed up for and competed at. First time we went out and did horrible. We drank more beer than we cooked food, and it was worth it. We had a good time. And the next year we decided that we were going to cook that contest again. And so like once a month we cooked a meat. We all would cook a meat. We'd all meet together and we'd try our meats and whatever. And then we did that for a couple of years. And then one day we saw in the paper SCBA contest over in South Carolina. We're like, oh, let's see what we can do. We're good at this, and we went over there, and of course we got beat up on. But the thing about barbecue is the people that we met on either side of us that day, we're still friends with. And then that led into KCBS and then that growing, and that's what this is all about. It's about the people.
So clarify, you said SCBA. For people out there not watching, don't know what the SCBA is. Tell them what the SCBA is.
Yeah, the SCBA is the South Carolina Barbecue Association. We're in Savannah, so they had a contest right across the river. And the SCBA, one thing that was attractive about that to us for a first-time cook is they provided the meat for us. Right. So our entry fee got us butts and ribs. They cooked butts and ribs were the only two categories they cooked. So we felt like everybody was on the same playing field because all the meat came out of the same box that day. You know, the ironic thing was the second contest that we went to, SCBA contest we went to, the most costly thing that ever cost us in barbecues, we won first place in ribs that day.
Yep, there you go.
Downhill from there. And we said it that day, this trophy is going to cost us more money, and we still laugh about that. But
I remember
it's,
you said the same thing to me when I won here.
yeah, that's exactly what I told you. I'm like,
no idea how much money you're gonna spend. I was like,
this is going to be expensive. Enjoy it, but this is going to be expensive.
absolutely.
So talking about kind of SCBA here, kind of a little bit off topic here. That's where I started at. We started back in 2000, I think 8 or 9 is the first competition at SCBA. And what I will tell you this, if you want to truly learn how to cook pork and how to cook ribs and truly understand the whole concept of pork and ribs, check out the SCBA. Because you turn in and you dig it, there's no garnish. You got to turn in basically the whole pork butt, separate it to get it to be judged correctly. So you're going to have to understand every piece of that butt, where the money muscles, the tubes, the bacon, the roast. It truly is a in-depth competition for just pork. Whereas KCBS, you turn in whatever's the best part about that pork butt, whether it's money muscles, bacon, or whatever, or you can do combinations, whatever you feel comfortable with. But more and more people are doing kind of one part of the butt, or one part of the Boston butt for that. So when you look at SCBA, that's a really good, I don't even know if I'd say entry level, but that's a good place to start learning. Because the guys that's doing that is really good. So I wouldn't never say it's an entry level, but I would say it's a really good to get a really good foundation on pork. Wouldn't y'all agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I love turning in that big, giant, heavy box. You know, it's a big old box. You gotta garnish the pork butt with more pork butt. I love that. That's just fun for me.
It's like a 10-pound box.
Yeah, it is.
By
Yeah.
the time it's filled up with meat, you turn it in with all those pieces in it.
You feel accomplished.
yeah.
You're like, yes, they're gonna love this. You know,
And
for
everything's
sure.
judged, right? Everything's judged, like the pull for the bottom and all that stuff. So I've never cooked one, but it's like, we're 20 minutes from South Carolina, and I was actually talking to Boyson with Smoky Bros. I was like, we should go do one, because I just like to go and just cook to get more practice and everything. And but I do know a lot of guys. What's that? That's right. Which is like, I don't know. That's scary.
It drives me insane.
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
Off smell. It smells bad.
In the book to put aroma and barbecue.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't do no more than this. But some guys got it down pat.
Yeah.
Some guys got it down pat.
Yeah.
So I have Elite BBQ Smokers. Me and my wife, we've won this contest. Y'all have won this contest. Y'all have won this contest.
Jody, you're
Yeah.
up. You're up.
I'm feeling really excited. We had an academy 2 weeks ago. We went to practice again. Dude, we cooked probably 40 pork butts last week. Really? Just for other events and stuff. But me and John, we were practicing. Oh, we were practicing. We were practicing.
So right here, it's on the books for it. This is one of the contests is one of my favorite contests. Not even before we won this contest, because it's Boss Hog, man. It's the
hospitality, it's the
people, a Boss Hog. It's
the event, the
great.
location.
You bring your kids. They've got rides for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely something other that for everybody and anybody. This is a great contest. So kind of that kind of lead. We're in the middle of setting up here at a contest. So what you're hearing is people trying to level a trailer.
And sorry, last time in the background that was me.
Yeah, that was him last time. So we're actually here setting up here on the Friday here at 1:30 at Boss Hog. So the proudest moment in barbecue. What's your proudest moment in barbecue?
My proudest moment in barbecue, I mean, it actually came from this contest. We won. I mean, that was awesome. My daughter was here. Chad was here. We got to ride in the car and all that. But Chad was here. Yeah. So, but my proudest moment in barbecue was getting in the truck and riding down the road and calling my dad and telling him I won.
That's cool.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Special.
Yep.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I mean, it has to be here. I mean, it was our 4th ever contest, and I don't know how, but we got some luck that day and we won. But same thing like Frank's saying, all the family was here, and you get to ride around this awesome Cadillac, and some teams are kind of like, nah, but other teams applaud you because, it's just everybody's got their nose in their score sheets and all that stuff. But I thought it was pretty cool, and I really didn't know anybody then, and I just, I felt like, okay, I can compete, I can cook, I can hold my own. But we've had a lot of good moments, but I think by far that one, I think, takes the cake. So, yeah. Mr. Jody.
For us, it's definitely gonna be. It's not very high or anything, but we got a ribbon for it. But it's 14th in the world at the American Royal in vegetable.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Like we cooked for like 4 months to get ready for this contest, helping Roddy Trevino out of Texas, Rodstar Barbecue. He asked us, to come and help him. We graciously, thank goodness he asked us, but we were able to get 14th in the world in vegetable. I know, some folks are like, vegetable, we cooked a potato against, literally the best cooks in the world, which, was super humbling for us. And we acted like a bunch of girls. No offense or anything, but we acted like a bunch of schoolgirls when we got up there. We were just so giddy and dancing around. We didn't even know what to do. I don't even know where the ribbon is right now, but that was definitely it. We had so much fun in Kansas City and with those folks out there. So,
Jason, what about you?
My proudest moment would have to be winning Banjo BBQ. It was my first GC. Not expecting it. Had a good cook that day, but there we did not expect to be at that level and to come out there and win that contest. And when we got up there and we had 180 in brisket, we won the drum, Snake River Farms. And then we sitting over here and Johnny Trigger sitting beside me. And we got down to top 5 and he looked at me and said, "You won this thing." Johnny Trigg, Smoking Triggers, telling me that I've just won this contest. And then we heard a name called, and from there till I got on the stage, got picture taken, it was a blur.
Yeah.
I mean, people congratulating that. And probably my second one would be, well, I'd say this one. Probably won this contest was another one. But I'd say another one that would rank up there is actually going out and do the American Royal 2 days in a row and get our name called 2 days in a row. I mean, that was kind of just like, okay, we have made it to we've got our name called on a national standpoint. That has probably been my proudest as far as hold on.
Good time.
My proudest moment for that. Hold tight.
Hold on. He can add it, right? That's perfect location, right? Yeah.
Good thing we're not live. I
Yeah.
guess if that would have happened during
Yeah. Now you can edit it.
That's what makes live.
Now you can edit
That's
it.
what makes
Yeah.
I can edit, but that's what makes live.
That's why people watch it.
Yeah, I mean, live is the
They want to
stuff.
see you.
Goof up.
So the next question is kind of getting into for new people coming out in barbecue. I really love this question here. What's one thing that you wish you'd known that you know now that you wish you? What's the one thing you wish you'd known when you started barbecue that you know now? Like that one little secret that took you forever to figure out. Once you finally figured it out, it was like that. Oh crap!
I'll tell you one thing that when I first started cooking barbecue, or our team did, we used to cook a ton of meat. We'd cook, 8 butts. I mean, we actually started the SCBA, we just talked about a little while ago, and they would give you 8 butts. So when we came to a KCBS contest, I think we cooked 8 butts, and we cooked 6 or 8 slabs of ribs and 24 chicken pieces and brisket. And one thing that I learned was once we focused in and reduced the amount of meat that we cooked, we learned that we were paying attention to the meat and the specific pieces that we were trying to cook. So, just because you cook more, you hope you're going to pick the best piece out of the more. It's a little confusing and that kind of stuff. If you can just kind of focus in on what you're cooking on, I think that was kind of a turning point for us. Yeah. And the other thing is I probably wish I would have taken a class sooner. I mean, I know we only got one thing here, but a class sooner. There's so much information out these days with classes and the internet and that kind of stuff. Use it to your advantage. Try to get knowledge of yourself. So that's probably where I'd start.
Let's see. I started under tents, so my first 4 competitions were under tents, and of course, that means you're bringing like the whole kitchen sink. You're bringing everything, and actually, I'm set up next to a group of guys. First ever contest, they're under tents, and I can see like they got all their totes. They have like everything.
Awesome.
So I guess really, even now, I'm trying to be more of a minimalist, and just take what I need. I do dishes at home. I don't even put them in a tote. I don't bring a sink and wash. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. And I think from a cooking standpoint, maybe when I decided to go both feet in, cooking hot and fast versus low and slow. One, it allows you, I guess, to maybe get a little more rest, get some more sleep, but also, I think it does put out a better product. But just finally trusting my skills to say I can cook a brisket and a pork butt in 5 to 6 hours, and versus staying up kind of all night with a smoker and then being exhausted, because you really need to be on top of your game. The last 10 minutes every turn in, that's, I think, where it separates the good from the average.
Yeah, that was going to be mine. Don't be afraid to cook hot and fast. The low and slows are, it's kind of, most folks are kind of getting away from it now. But just to piggyback off of that, Mark, that would have been mine. But a second thing would I would spend 2 hours on kale boxes to make sure that they were absolutely perfect, when in fact I'm covering up most of the kale with my food. Don't overthink your presentation, because sometimes you can really I get worked up over it.
Yep.
And then that carries over to your whole cook, all 4 meats, if you're worked up, because then you'll start fumbling, and then you'll start getting frustrated with yourself. So that would definitely be mine for sure.
Going back on the presentation he's talking about here. So when we do presentation in KCBS here, we put garnish, kale, lettuce, parsley, whatever's in the box. And I think a lot of times, like you're saying, we get so focused on making sure that stuff is really pretty around the outside of it. And it's very important. I'm not taking anything away from it. But if you spend 5 minutes on that box and not 5 minutes on that presentation for the piece of meat going in the box, that meat's going to definitely be what you're going to get scored on. Your presentation on your box, it may hurt you, but it's not going to help you. That meat, though, if you've got that meat to shiny and looks like it's supposed to look, shaped in the box right, it's going to help you a lot more than if you got this piece of parsley out of place, kind of what you're alluding to. So that's kind of what we've got into that. One thing I hear about classes, people today, there's so much more resources out there for you to start cooking barbecue, as far as classes, as far as online and stuff. I mean, even my YouTube video, we doing stuff every day that basically shows you tricks.
I watch your YouTube video.
Yeah.
So. I mean, that's exactly a perfect example. I watch your stuff you guys do. Yeah. I mean, it's all the time, just
Monday, Friday.
absorbing it more and more in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I got a YouTube channel. Recteq's got a YouTube channel. And the whole goal is we want to get people to watch our channel. So we're going to put out stuff on the videos that's going to be truth information that you can go home and try it and you're going to like. I'm not going to put something on that video that you're not going to like, because that's going to not accomplish the goal I want you as far as you watching videos. And so that's kind of what he's saying here is there's a lot of stuff out there if you be able to come out there and see it and do it and watch it, that's going to really just kind of bring you to another level. And I've said this before, somebody starting today, take care of the resources, you jump 5 years on what it took for me to get there. I mean, it's insane. And take a class. It'll save you more money than you've ever dreamed of saving, as far as just kind of, not saying use that as far as, but go in there and see what the expectations are. So now it could be, because this is a GBC contest, and this interview's got some people here, all of us are members of GBC. Kind of want to talk about is, how long have you been a member of GBC, and why did you join the GBC?
So, I've been a member of the GBC longer than there was a memberships to the GBC. So, do you remember that? There didn't used to be memberships.
Oh, no,
so back when we first started cooking, so he's from South Carolina. So, but back when we first started cooking, the way that the GBC worked is you had to cook a minimum of 5 contests, and then once you cooked 5 contests, your points. It didn't matter if you were a member or not. That's how your points counted. And then when it's been, I don't know, it's been a handful of years ago. So I've been a member ever since they started having membership. But I mean, we look at we have day jobs and we can't travel the country and chase points and that type of stuff. So I mean, the GBC is an awesome opportunity for us locally to be able to chase some sort of goal or have some smaller points race. So we in 2017 we were fortunate enough to be able to win the whole GBC. So then that was cool. We went into the last contest, and we either had to reserve or grand to take the lead, and we won the contest. So it's and the cool part is I mean, the GBC is such a family. I mean, everybody was there, and everybody was it didn't matter who won, but it was a cool way to go. So. answer the question? I think I did.
I guess I think I joined after I won this one in 2018. So I think, talking about classes, so I did the, I mean, you pretty much taught me how to cook, kind of. I always give Frank credit. So they all taught the GBC school, the cook school, and I believe I signed up there. And I didn't really know much about it at the time, but it's been a great resource for me. I mean, meet a lot of great people, and but I believe 2019 was the first year I set a goal. I want to go chase. I want to try to do as many GBC contests as I can. I think I did I want to say 8 that year, and like Frank said, it's it gives us something in this local southeast that we can go chase something and have fun, and they award you 1st through 10th place at the end of the year, and it's just really neat. So I'm still kind of new to the whole thing, but it's something I think everybody should look into, and if you're cooking in Georgia 2 or 3 times, you definitely should sign up.
Yeah. And we've been members off and on since 2016. But like you said, Frank, everybody just knows everybody, and I'll get random phone calls from folks. Who the heck is this? And pick it up, and hey, we were next to you at that one contest. We coming through town, and again, you'll reconnect with a lot of those people, and another cool thing is you get 1st through 10th at the end of the year. Not a lot of folks do that too. So, but it's also hometown pride for us, and being part of the GBC. You want to be part of it. Because we're in Georgia. And we're fortunate enough to have 2 big comps in this area. So you guys, Frank, you guys get to swing through. We get to see you at least a couple times a year. If it's not coming in for an academy. So it would definitely be the camaraderie and the close knit family type feel that you get with the GBC for us, for sure.
So I think you kind of alluded to this here, as far as all of you have, as far as as a local event, but kind of like a benefit to GBC. One of the biggest benefits to it is it gives the opportunity for people that don't want to travel on a nationwide circuit to chase points, to be able to cook contests that's local to Georgia, to be able to go for points and have kind of a recognition purposes for Georgia. So that's a really good point as far as a benefit for GBC. And that's probably, and honestly, the strongest benefit to GBC.
For sure.
The other tell about some other benefits to GBC.
Well, I mean, it's not limited to Georgia either. I mean, we've got teams that, like Smoke Me Sillies, they're running the points chase this year. They're coming to Georgia. They're from Alabama. Triple H said they're going to come cook as many Georgia contests as they can. They're from halfway across the country. So I mean, so it's not just it's not Georgia teams that are competing for the GBC. We had Scott Adams won the GBC, I don't remember, a couple of years ago from North Carolina. So we have had a few outside teams out of Georgia come in and compete. So that actually becomes fun, because it's let's keep it in Georgia versus an outside team and that kind of stuff with the points chased.
Now they also have points chase in each category, not just overall. So Radar's won brisket and stuff here. So when you come out here, we're not just talking about just coming here and competing overall. We're talking about you got a chance for overall and all 4 categories. So that's what kind of a benefit to it is. Yeah. So I mean, it really is. It's a points chase that's in Georgia, but it's bigger than just Georgia. So it reaches outside, it brings people in, and I mean, what happens there is we end up going and cooking places where people have come in and meet, that kind of stuff. So again, it's a big family. I mean, the other benefit of the GBC is just promotion of barbecue and relationships like this, and getting people out cooking. I mean, the GBC is trying to promote barbecue. It puts on a points chase, but they're promoting barbecue. The GBC actually supports some nonprofit stuff with monies that they raise as well. So it is bigger than just a points chase. It's about a community. So I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm grateful for the GBC, like I mentioned before, the classes. So I've only
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think we kind of
yeah. So I've only taken 2 classes ever, and they've both been the GBC classes. And so, just a quick rundown. So the people who win each category for that year, they come back and they teach that category the next year. And for the value that's offered, and for the pit masters that are teaching, it's a great way. And I was still a new competition cook, and there was things I was doing wrong, and taking this class, the kind of light bulb clicked on. I was like, oh geez, okay. But I mean, just the resources that you got, all these top pit masters in the States and or Southeast, and they come and they teach their program, and I mean, it helped me tremendously. And we had a class this past winter, and I was fortunate enough, I was actually on the other side of the table teaching chicken. And I have several students still call me and text me, and like, what am I doing wrong, or what can I, can you help me out? And actually, Tom Tilley, he's in Memphis, MA, and he's mid chicken cook, and he calls me and say, hey, I got something going on, can you talk? I'm like, yeah. But it's really fun, and so I felt like I got a chance to give back. And these classes are just, I think it's a tremendous resource. I think it's one of the definitely the highlights of the GBC. Anything to add there, Mr. Jim?
Yeah, I love all of the nonprofit contributions that the GBC makes. I mean, I believe it's like the kids' cancer research was one of the big ones, and then that's something that we always support. And I'm sure there's a food bank aspect to it as well. So those two are like really, really big, high up in my family and in my philanthropy, as well as Recteq as well. So that was another highlight to joining the GBC is you kind of can see where that money goes.
So start with you here. Kind of a question we're gonna have here is kind of like, what surprised you the most about competition barbecue? Relationships, just
it hands down the friendliness of everybody, the fact that somebody would bend over backwards to get, if you needed honey and they didn't have extra honey, they would people would just go to the store for you. Just the camaraderie, that is hands down the most surprising thing. And then again, anybody that comes through our place to do classes and stuff like that, if they ever go to if they ever experience that barbecue competition, that's the number one thing that they said. It was, man, I forgot this, and I didn't ask anybody, and they just knew something was up. Somebody came over and said, hey, you need anything? And it was just, it's God, it's almost uplifting when you're having a cook and you're down, and especially if you're by yourself. That's tough anyway. But if somebody just notices, oh man, I think that person might need some help, and they're not going to ask, and you just go over there and you ask them and you help them out. There's just something about that just makes, even if you're having a bad cook, heck, that'll make my day.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, just to echo the same thing. I mean, I showed up today. I'm kind of a solo cook, but I had a guy next to me help me put up all my tents, and so he's like, I didn't have to ask. He's like, hey, let me help you do that. And I'm like, so that's really neat. And I guess from like a food standpoint, like, surprised me. It's the flavor profiles, and it's something like, I'm stuttering here, but I try to keep it to something like I still like to eat. So I've tried to find like a neutral ground, what the judges like and still what I like. So I don't know, it's something that's worked for me, but everybody says you got to cook for the judges and stuff, but yeah.
Well, for me, for me, it's kind of two things. One, from the food side, it's interesting to me how you cook, and you've got one meat going, and it's just doing well. It's doing well, and the other one over here just kind of falls off. And the next thing you know, you're working so hard over here on this one, and the one that's doing well starts doing this, and this one starts coming back up. So it's just how flavor profiles change, how textures, how it's just always an evolving thing. Barbecue is. The other thing I think that I've learned, or for the question, but how this is a family much bigger than cooking food. Outside of all of us here, if something goes on with our family, something goes on, our barbecue friends are the first people. Outside of needing something here, it's bigger than that. It's, if something happens in your life and you need people, the barbecue family's the biggest family that's here for you immediately. And that's something that's
it's definitely
surprised me. I mean,
and y'all have heard me say this before. This right here is a very extended family from my family at home. It's amazing the people we've met, the people we've talked to, friends we've got. If we break down anywhere in the world, I've had people drive an hour to come help me break when this rig broke down with trailer tires. So that's what's going to happen. We've done that. Talking about kind of what Mark was talking about the food here, and I said this earlier this week in another interview here, and I think it was a pretty good analogy on that. When you start talking about food, look at food as far as like you're going to sit down and eat. You got 6 people cooking you 6 whole hamburgers. You cannot take 6 whole hamburgers and eat it, 6 hamburgers, and then tell which one's better. You can take a bite out of each hamburger. So you look at it from a competition standpoint, you still want to be able to like it, still want to be able to enjoy it, but you still need to understand that judge is only going to take 1 bite out of that hamburger, not the entire hamburger. And so that's why we do other things to barbecue to kind of enhance the flavor, because we want that 1 bite challenge in a sense. So, but again, if you don't believe in your food, then you don't need to be messing with that. You need to truly start evaluating something that you're proud of, you want to brag on, and you want to, because you're going to pay more attention to it. So the next question here is going to be kind of partnerships and sponsors. Talk about who we got to kind of introduce, because we are all teams here with some sponsors. We're blessed as ourselves, EliteBBQ Store, Recteq. We've got Rufus Teague and got Royal Oak Charcoal, which I had a bag of charcoal somewhere. So those have been my sponsors here. And kind of like when we talked about sponsors and different things here, but I'll let these guys talk about theirs.
So we've had a relationship with Royal Oak Charcoal a long time. EliteBBQ Store, Brian and Ellen over there, they're awesome. We've this year picked up Heath Riles Barbecue, which has been awesome. Working with those guys and just working with flavor profiles, and I've done more cooking at home this year than I have in a long time, and it's just, I don't know, just opened my mind up again, I hope. We have also partnered with the Steak Princess Barbecue. Riley got a call last weekend, at Pusa Q, 4th place, I believe it was, in ribs for her first barbecue contest.
Oh, sweet.
So that's fantastic. So and then we've been cooking Prairie Fresh pork this year. So that's our group that helps us get around, and we appreciate everything they do. So.
Well, I was fortunate enough this year to get the Royal Oak sponsorship, so I was
Same thing.
Yeah, so I was totally. I mean, I was just in awe. Like I've worked hard the last couple of years to try to prove myself, and also picked up Butcher Barbecue. I've been using his products for a long time, and so it's something I really believe in. So when he opened up his sponsorship program, I applied and I got it. So I was very ecstatic about that, and also Recteq. They've been very awesome to me, and I appreciate the relationship, Mr. Jody and everybody there at the family. And we also use Prairie Fresh pork.
So we have a ton of help and folks that also contribute to us as well, even though we are a business. Grill Grade, Brad Barrett and his family are awesome to us. Brian and Ellen Jarvis with EliteBBQ Store, we couldn't do it without them, because they, when we're not using our stuff, we're getting our other stuff from them as well. And then of course we get our beverage sponsor, Dirty Girl, keeps us very hydrated. We appreciate them for sure. So, and then of course you guys check out recteq.com, recteq.com.
So I'll put down the information on how to get in touch with everybody on social media down below, so they have their links to the social media websites and stuff here. We've been sponsored this year, and we're sponsored by Recteq. And talking about them a minute, they got the best made pellet smokers and grills that I've ever come across. They're very good units. They're stainless steel, and they hold temperature, and they truly are something other that you haven't checked them out. You need to check them out. They'll sell them online. They don't do stores, so you're not going to find these at your local Home Depot or Lowe's. But if you check these compared to any other grills, pellet smokers out there, you can come away being impressed like I have been. So there's something to definitely check it out. And they have got the best customer support service there is on the market. And they will bend over backwards and make sure you got what you need to make that grill be successful. Because all of us cook on a variety of different cookers out here. But one thing's the truth. When we cooking, we want that temperature and that timeline, the whole thing to be this, going up a little bit. I want that temperature dead level. I want that time to move. But if it starts doing this roller coaster, you can't control that. You start having that roller coaster ride, it's going to just totally mess you up, because you're going to have it where it's going to not cook evenly, and therefore it's going to stall and start, stop and start, and it's going to really mess your mind up with that. And when we talk about sponsors here, one thing that Mark said this here, and he's really made a good point about here. When we talk about sponsors is not just calling everybody up and asking for money. Sponsors is about building a relationship. So you got to believe in the products. You got to build that relationship, so to the point that whenever they have that sponsorship opportunity with you, they're investing in you as a person. you as a team, just as much as they are as your success. Because if you come out there and help them sell their products and help them have a positive influence on people, then they're going to come up to you and be like, hey, what can we do to help you more? That being stated, you don't go on social media and badmouth anything and expect sponsors to come there and give you a time of day. It just ain't going to happen. Am I right about that?
Yes.
I mean, you've got to look at that. So the sponsors we have in there with very good relationships, but it's taken me years to build relationships that I have here. Rufus Teague is one of my sponsors. I've had them for almost 10 years now. And the other guys is just Royal Oak, the Recteq, great people. But that's when you look at sponsorships, also look from that perspective. Would y'all agree with that?
Absolutely.
A lot of folks think that, that these companies are out cutting checks, like crazy and paying folks to do this for a living. There are folks out there that do that, but they're not, getting, $40,000 and $50,000 a year that you would think that because they're on TV and they've got all these followers on social media, they still, like Frank says, everybody's got a day job around here as well. So nobody's out here. I feel like everybody's spending more money than they're making out here anyway.
This is a hobby.
Yeah, this is a hobby.
Yeah.
This is definitely a hobby here. So always remember, you come out here and you do this, you're doing this for a hobby. You're not going to make money at this to the level that when we change that. I have not figured out a way to make money at this ballgame. I am very much attempting to make that a possibility, but at this point in my life, I have not figured that out yet. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy the interview and everybody else. Anything we didn't talk about, y'all want to talk about? Any kind of points?
Well, I forgot the most important sponsor. Yes, Dear BBQ sauces. No.
Yeah, so this is Frank here. This is with Yes Dear BBQ sauce. He has very good products here. His sauces is what, 2 sauce or not sauce? What's that little hashtag on it?
Or not juice.
Not juice.
Yeah.
Good product right here. If you haven't checked stuff out, and all jokes aside, check them out. They got some good products. And he's also got sold in the barbecue store. But again, come out here to these competitions. Come out and be part of GBC. Come out here and at least hang around, judge it. During the 10 to 2 window, we may have to say, hey, give me a little while, because we're focused on what we're here to compete on. Other than that, we'll help you out. We'll tell you anything that we can tell you. Most of us will out here. But you take that in consideration, that be courteous when you come out here. Sign up to be a judge. Sign up to come out here to competitions, to come out here and be a volunteer. Everybody needs volunteers. All right? The places here has probably got 40 volunteers walking around here. They'd love to be able to show up and help them out and go around these contests, and it's a great opportunity to meet people, do things, and expand your knowledge. Because one thing about this, and I've always said this about food, and you've been in the industry a long time, is 99.99% of the time, somebody's gonna smile and be happy with food. You might have that one person that's not, but they're a rarity. You put food on somebody's table, they'll most of the time be happy. And that's one thing we all love about barbecue. My day job is enough dealing with the drama. I come out here to have a good time and make people happy.
That's right.
Thank y'all for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
We greatly appreciate that. Like I said, all their content information will be linked down below in the description here, and I have a link to all their stuff. And again, check out GBC, check out their website. What's your website, George? I forgot the website address.
BBQChampionship.org.
I'll have it down below.
It's new this year, just brand new website.
Fancy.
It's got all the team, the upcoming events, and all the information about. We're talking about the nonprofit and all the sponsors. There's a great group of sponsors that support the GBC. So check that out. And you don't have to be a cook to join the GBC. You can be a Friends of the GBC member and support what the GBC's doing and just be part of it. So
that's it. So that being said, thank y'all for watching. See you next time.
now it's easy.
Me?